Hi 6 to 9 friends. I have a huge headache today. I really hoped it would feel better, but it's not, so I'm heading home in just a minute. But I don't want to leave you with no artwork to work on today. So I'm going to film a quick video to give you the next steps so that you can keep working on your own, and we'll get back together tomorrow and we'll talk about how to put our aloe-brie all together. Let me switch my camera and we'll walk through our steps for today. For your work today, you're going to want one piece of your white project paper, and you're going to need a couple pieces of your construction paper. You should be picking out the colors that you're going to use to create your aloe-brie. Our aloe-brie, when we looked at them, we saw so many different patterns and designs to the work. I wanted us to talk a little bit about texture. Texture is one of our elements of art. Texture is the way that something feels or the way that it looks like it feels. So we have actual texture, the way something actually feels. We also have implied texture. That's the way something looks like it feels. So we'll be using real textures to create some textured paper, and then we'll do that to then put it together to give that implied texture. But we can also create some beautiful patterns as well, because texture is going to be great for part of this, but for other parts we're going to want some really nice patterns done in really bright colors. For your piece, you're going to use your oil pastels to create those bright colors. Now, not all of our oil pastels will show up on maybe some of our darker paper. So maybe we need to use our white on some of the darker papers to create our patterns. So be cautious of your color choices with your oil pastels as you create your patterns and create some textures. So in the art room, we have texture rubbing plates, but you can find textures all around your house. So what I want to do is I'm going to use this texture rubbing plate to kind of show you how to work the process, and I'll show you a few things that I found that might be around your house that you could use. So for a texture rubbing plate, we actually have to peel the wrapper off of our crayons. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a color here. And what we do is we're going to just do a rubbing. So I use my helper hand to hold my paper still, and carefully I press down, and I'm going to reveal a rubbing. Since I'm pressing down, my little oil pastel there kind of snapped, but that's okay. So this is giving my paper a pattern from the texture of the plates. So this will be really cool. So the goal is to have a handful of papers, probably 4 construction papers that look like this. You can either have drawn some patterns on them, or you can find some textures around your house. So what textures might you find around your house? So I have some burlap, and since we can see that it's kind of rough and it's a woven fabric, I think I'm going to be able to get some texture from that. You see all the little bumps that are popping up, the texture that I'm creating on this? So burlap or other rough fabric could be a great choice for helping to create some texture patterns. Another really great choice are leaves. When we expose the side with all the veins in it, that's what's going to help us to capture some texture from there as well. Some of you might have used leaves before to do rubbing. So then I want to I'll move my leaf a couple different places so that I can repeat that leaf texture on multiple spots on my paper. So there's 2 that I found. I'm sure that if you headed outside, you could probably find a leaf around or maybe some textures within your house. Just looking around the art room right now, I see some other things that I could use. This side of this cup has some ridges on it, so I could hold my paper down there to rub on that to create a rubbing. I also have some flower pots that have this ripply design down the side of them that I could do a rubbing on. So you'll have to use your brain and do some brainstorming of what around your house might have a little texture that you can capture by doing a rubbing. But you can also create some patterns with your oil pastel. And you want to create a pattern that's going to fill your paper. And if you're going to do it this way, I love to see a lot of color added to your design as well. I'm creating a pattern out of lines that's going to fill this. So this is your goal today. You're going to work on your own with construction paper and oil pastels, and you are going to fill, let's say, 4 or 5 pieces of construction paper, either with patterns that you draw or textures that you do a rubbing for. We'll join together tomorrow and we'll talk about how to create the different parts of our animal on our construction paper and cut them out to create our Alebrije collage. All right, I'll send a message in the morning and we'll go on to the next step together tomorrow. Have a great day. Happy art making.